He's spawning your bean shit. He's getting on this happy.
Man's on point today. No shenanigans on my goon squad.
You can't get past me. Is that Rachel?
Yeah. How'd you know?
Well, you're looking up at the sky.
That's true. Why else would I be looking over there?
Is it in the back of Greg's head?
That's the first time that's ever happened.
She says hi.
Hello. Hi, Rach.
Good day, mate.
Annoy her. Ask her how the drawings are coming.
How are the drawings coming? She gave us a thumbs up.
Oh wait, the D&D chat. For some reason, I'm not a part of it anymore.
Oh no!
I'm not getting any messages for that.
I thought I included you.
It went to my email, the first one, and then I never got any follow up.
Well, either way, it's just not a big deal because we haven't talked much about it. It's just based on whenever Ray wants to do it. So.
I think she said not this weekend, but next weekend. Maybe?
Yeah, I think that's the current plan. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
Cool.
Are we
tangential?
Are we all?
I'm ready.
Screamo session.
I think you unfocused your camera with that.
I'm focused.
It's just the fumes.
It's the whole house.
All right.
Shaking.
All right.
Game phase.
Whenever you're ready, Greg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Goon Squad Cast. It's your host Greg speaking with my three boys here. Nick down here.
What's up, guys? I'm Nick, Elite Demon.
What's up, man? I am Steve, aka Black.
Hello, I'm Dion, aka Bella.
And hey, we're here talking about religion, guys. Everyone's favorite topic. No, I just thought it'd be kind of fun maybe to go into everyone's past and see if we have any interesting stories or backgrounds and share our experiences with each other and really learn about the universe and whatnot.
Quelle surprise!
There you go.
What?
So I'll start it off.
Shut up!
Actually was raised Roman Catholic, went to private school for most up to like high school. And yeah, was not that as bad as most people think. Didn't have the typical nun stuff. It was just kind of, smaller classes, and we actually took religion as a class, which I crushed because Jesus was the answer most of the time. Spoiler. Jesus or God, you're in good shape.
So how extreme was it?
Oh, not really. I mean,
not really extreme.
Well, we didn't actually have nuns. I mean, I don't know if that's even a thing anymore, or I'm sure it is somewhere, but it was just like, people getting paid more because it's just private school, basically.
Were you allowed to wear short skirts, or did they have to cover your knees?
Oh, there were uniforms. I actually forgot about that.
Yeah.
There were uniforms.
Do you still have it?
No.
Still keeps his uniform
Would
to
not be
this day.
So yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah,
Was
I
it
mean,
was it like an all boys Catholic school, or was it like a?
There, for elementary school, it was boys and girls. I think in high school it was only boys, and that's why I decided to get out. I was like, nope, damn ladies.
Yeah.
But yeah, not too shabby. Fun times. I'm sure I can go into it more. I just want to see what you guys got. Your basic.
Sure. I feel like once we say like a preliminary thing about it, we're going to be going into detail about it later anyway. Nicholas.
I was raised, I guess, just your typical Christian. Nothing too fancy about it, honestly.
Wait, you didn't have a specific denomination?
For the most part, no. When we would go to church and everything like that, I was too young to really pay attention and understand what the differences were or anything like that.
He said he was a typical Christian, Greg.
Okay, well.
Oh yeah, he nailed it.
You know what I mean. You know what.
Hey.
But it was so broad. There was like nothing in depth about it for the most part.
Ellie's going insane, by the way.
Ellie's going insane. It's coming through the house.
I think she sees a rabbit.
Oh my god.
Damn rabbits. So yeah, there wasn't too much about it. I mean, I got stories and all that, but as far as like going in depth about religion and me pursuing, not much there, honestly.
No.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to that for sure.
Yeah. Dan, what about you?
I want to actually go last since I feel like the three of you probably had similar, if not.
Oh, okay, guitar
stuff.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll stop there. But we're done.
No, I'm gonna wait till
Steve's
Steve
trying
gets
to
back.
wrangle with yeah, Steve's wrangling the dog.
Bear with us, everyone. It won't be
He probably
too
could have
long.
just turned on his suppression thing or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
Unprofessional, as
I know,
always.
the sound guy. I think I have that black acoustic guitar. You probably know about it, Greg, right? Was it a Yamaha?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks
I
like
think
one.
I think I had the same one.
Yeah. Very nice. Classic guitar.
Yeah.
They make good jet skis too, right?
They make good, like, weird everything. Like,
yeah, everything.
You never think about, like, Yamaha, like, makes, like, automotive equipment and instruments and...
What don't
like,
they make? Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's the only example of a manufacturer that makes bikes and musical instruments. Anyway, now that Steve's back...
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
There were 2 rabbits in the backyard, and the dog wanted to say hi very strongly.
Ah, gotcha.
Okay.
All right. So Nick had just Nick, if you want to give like a little quick version, just so Steve's up to speed.
Nothing changed.
Yeah, Nick went to a typical church.
And it sounds like I'm gonna get absolutely roasted for saying that.
Oh, it's
but-
already begun,
normal
buddy.
church. Yeah. Okay, is it my turn then?
Go ahead.
So I was raised, I want to say I was like baptized in a Presbyterian church, but I was raised Methodist. I mean, Christian, right? Typical Christian,
Oh,
the
God.
denominations. are all the
Apparently, this
same.
is typical.
So I'm
Welcome
not
to the
religious enough to
club.
know the difference. Yeah. But I'm agnostic now. So.
How
Yeah,
well, like, were both your parents? Is that why you kind of like drifted between?
No,
stuff?
so we were very much like we did like church every Sundays until probably high school, and then it was like church on the holidays until college, and then it was just like I guess it was sort of our church kind of evolved from. We had a really good pastor, and it was very, very nice. It was a very like morality-based church, which I really liked, which we can always go into more detail about it later.
Sure.
But it started becoming one of those churches where it's like, let's do our 10 band jam songs and then pass around like the, give us your money thing.
New age, yeah.
Yeah, like the new age rock band or whatever.
Yeah. I know.
Church choir. And it just got kind of like capitalisty, kind of like
Oh, I totally get
and
that.
stuff.
Really? The church capitalisty?
Oh, we'll talk about it. We can go do it.
Very-
What?
yeah.
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 no, it's- yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, I got my own reasons for being agnostic, but
Nah, it's fine.
no, that's my experience. Is basically it's just sort of typical early exposure, but
Sure. Now the more interesting person's going to talk. Let's go.
I am the more interesting person.
Oh, come on.
You're being singled out, Bella.
So I grew up a typical Muslim.
Which none of us will know what that means.
No, exactly. That was a joke. But no,
Typical.
even before I was born, my parents, my mom actually forced it. Kind of had this agreement with my dad. So my mom is a Muslim, my dad is a Buddhist. Being Sri Lankan, those are like pretty heavy religions, popular religions in Sri Lanka. So my mom made my dad agree that I would grow up Muslim.
Classic Muslim.
And I grew up that way and stuff. Read the Quran, but typical Muslim things.
Again, yeah.
Yeah. I swear to
Yeah.
God, if I see comments on this video about what you think are typical Muslim things, I'll
How do you
fucking
explain?
freak. Anyway.
Educate us. That's why we're talking.
No. Yeah, no.
You
I'm
do
doing
the you pray to like that specific direction of Mecca, right? Like that's
Yes.
actually that is
Yeah.
typical. Yeah.
Yeah, so you no matter where you are in the world, you can look this up or whatever, and or an imam might tell you what the
Right.
degree angle and stuff. Interesting fact, actually, my prayer mat that I had way back, like years ago, when we'll get into that too. But the interesting part of that, what I was going to say, is my prayer mat actually had a compass like in it.
That's pretty cool.
That you
Oh,
can
neat.
so that's
Sure,
the thing.
nowadays you can pull your
Yeah.
iPhone out and be like, get an arrow.
Yeah, and also also interesting thing to note as well is that every mosque is built facing like the prayer direction.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smart.
Yeah. So if you don't know whether you're facing the right direction or whatever, you just go to a mosque and you just pray there, like it's automatic. Anywho, my dad was just like, whatever, like okay, and then it kind of made it more evident that religion doesn't find you. You eventually pick what you want to have faith in or what you believe is right and stuff. I also somehow believe maybe I may have followed more deeply into Islam had it been anyone except my mom pushing me to do it.
Did she do the classic over push and then you pushed you away?
Oh my god, the over push was so bad. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna like roast my mom right now, but, but no, I think by age, I want to say 16, I was just like, nah, I'm not running this. So the most important day of prayer, like I guess for typical Christians, it would be Sunday, right? You go to church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for us, it's Friday.
Okay.
You go for the morning Friday prayers. There was a point where my mom would wake my ass up. So in Dubai, the weekend was Friday and Saturday.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, or I think it was also Thursday and Friday, especially Friday and Saturday. It never became Saturday, Sunday. Friday always had to be a holiday because in Muslim countries, it's a holy day, right?
Yeah, I had no idea. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I was roused up and stuff on my weekend, and like my mom would force me to go to the mosque, and I eventually just started just going on a walk.
Sure.
I come back like half an hour later, like that was it. Keep in mind as well that the sermons were all in Arabic, and I don't know Arabic.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's literally you're just going there, sitting down, like staring at the walls and stuff until it's time to pray.
Do you know how much they've actually changed the religion? Like, I know that because the whole thing with the Roman Catholics is that we didn't change our stuff often, and when we did, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
That's why people kind of liked it for the most part. But I know that I mean, obviously, New Age Christianity has become they change stuff all the time and do whatever they want, basically. And so I've only heard that it's very traditional. So I don't know how much they've done.
See, I'm not going to claim to know everything, about it. But like in my experience, it's remained largely unchanged. There's still like the only two divides that I know of. I mean, there's probably many. I know there's many as well, but the two most popular ones are Sunni and Shia. So if you know a little bit about Islam, you know that our Jesus is the Prophet Muhammad.
Yes.
So there was a split a long time ago, and please don't crucify me in the comments. So there was, when the Prophet Muhammad died, he appointed someone else, like a trustee, to lead the nation,
like a pope.
the religion forward. But then there were some people also said no, it should be in the bloodline.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the split that happened.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, but they have Sunni and Shia. I grew up Sunni.
Yeah, so because when you brought up the whole, it's in that original language thing.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church used to do that up until I'm not an expert either.
Yeah. That's fine.
But I want to say fairly recently, probably within like a few hundred years, because I know in the medieval period and past then, people didn't know what they were just listening to it Latin. They were listening to Latin the whole time, no matter where it was. So yeah, it was a while before they were allowed conventional.
I believe it was Martin Luther, right, who came out and said,
Yeah, that was a big one. Yeah.
Said no, everybody should understand the Bible. Like the common folks should be able to understand it and stuff.
Those Protestants.
Yeah. In a weird way, I know a lot more about Christianity than I do Islam, to be really honest. It's weird.
Well, it's actually ingrained in our Western history because it split half the population at a certain point, and then people are having wars over it. So it was a huge thing.
Yeah, the Crusades and stuff, and
there's specific wars between Protestants and Catholics.
For sure.
Medieval era, for sure,
Yeah.
in that era.
Yeah, but
Power.
yeah. So just to cap off my thing, that happened. My rebellious teenage years after, I'd say my rebellious adolescent years made me think I'm an atheist. This shit doesn't make sense and stuff.
Sure.
But then later I matured and it started becoming a little more,
rounded. Sure.
Rounded, exactly, and stuff. And now I'm just resting at agnostic, and that's where I'm at.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, so I think we're all kind of that similar spot now where we're kind of when I was in church, I always thought it was weird that everyone was not focused on it. A lot of time, like you were saying, New Age stuff, but even in traditional Catholic mass, it's fairly serious and old school. Yeah. But there's still people that take it, they're talking to each other or they're doing whatever, not paying attention. So when I was young, I was like, what are these people doing? If you're going to be here, you take it seriously.
Yeah.
But when you get older, you realize a lot of people go for community. I think that's the main reason a lot of people go to church. And I totally get that. But yeah, for me it was all about like the inner spiritual stuff. And so when I got older and like started to mature, and I think one of the more important things was in college, I took a world religion class, and it opened my eyes to like how similar Islam and Catholicism are. Like you're saying, it is pretty much, yeah. And then everyone's got like most religions have the same kind of origin story and the same kind of like you know, world birth story. It's all basically the same
world traditions.
But it's really hard to stay very concrete in your beliefs if you have any kind of like, why is my religion better than these other ones? Are really the same?
Like for example, Jesus exists in Islam too. We just don't call him Jesus. Like
I mean, the Jews obviously recognize him too.
Yeah, like they call him Isa and stuff, and that goes for all the like Abraham, it's Ibrahim. Jacob is Yaqub. Like they're all the same. Like, which also like makes me kind of like maybe these people's like they actually existed. There's like accounts and all this.
Oh, they know Jesus existed because of the Romans. We know they have written recordings of him, so he definitely existed, but we don't have any proof of anything other than that. Right. But I was saying like, so I also took like, I was learning about Hinduism and Buddhists and all these other things, like, millions and millions of people, billions of people follow these religions, and you're like, so okay, wait a minute, because when you grow up, you're like surrounded by people that typically only follow the same way. So you definitely, when you get older, you're like, oh yeah, it's basically a herd mentality a lot of the time.
Oh yeah,
you definitely feel like you're just getting pulled in regardless. So when I actually started to like reflect on myself and like what I actually was trying to actually get out of it, I was like, oh, I'm basically just meditating. Essentially, when I go to church, because you basically are just like listening to the guy talk, like, oh, I know this. Oh, I know this. Oh yeah, be good to people. Yeah, I know.
I fully get that, because like at least they're speaking a language you understand. I have no idea what this guy is talking to me about. Like,
your own thing.
I'm sure it's all great. It's wonderful. I just don't understand it. So it is meditation. Like,
yeah, that's weird.
I had this math tutor a long time ago and stuff. And another thing I should point out is that the majority of Dubai's population are expats, right? Who don't understand Arabic whatsoever. Right. And like, so, but they just know to go to the mosque to pray and that stuff and everything. So literally, you can see like hordes of people just like,
bored out of their mind. Yeah.
Just like my math tutor told me that when he goes and stuff, he just does like calculates angles of like architecture and shit in his head. And like I did that the next time, like, oh yeah, that is interesting, because oh shit,
we lost him. And he's back in a different corner. Oh no, there you go.
We're good. All right.
I'm gonna have to restart my modem though. If it's doing that now, it's gonna keep happening.
Really? All right. All right. Go ahead. Do it right now.
So you guys, good luck with this.
Okay.
True.
Yeah. So like for me, I like religion, or I like pastors in the sense of moral traditions that they can bring forward, like be good to one another, like learning about how to be a better person in general. For me, it's always kind of gone off the rails for me with the whole idea of like I don't like the idea of suspension of belief with religion.
No, same here.
Where it's like I don't need you trying to tell me that like someone turned water into wine and that he healed a crippled person, and that it's because of that, or because of some like, oh, you're gonna get into heaven or you're gonna go to hell. Yeah. Like I don't think that should be the basis for me wanting to be a good person.
Yeah. No, I'll use this word. I could do with the moral studies of being a good person without the theatrics. Like, and I totally agree with what you're saying. Like me, for example, and this is a very controversial topic I'll get into. Me giving money to the poor in the month of Ramadan should not be because God told us to. Mm-hmm. It should be because you're doing it because you care for these people, right?
Yeah,
because there's a very interesting, like, there's a philosopher that once, I don't remember his name, but he said, there is no such thing as an unselfish act.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true, because you're trying to make yourself feel better.
Exactly, right? And, like, I get that, that's fine, but I would rather do that to make myself better rather than pleasing a group of people who tell me what to think because a book told them to.
Yeah, well, it's okay to be selfish in acts of kindness.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's even two people you're helping.
Yeah, because even an anonymous donation still makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, also, like, in some cases makes you feel a little more high and mighty and superior and shit. But anyway, I'm sure that doesn't apply to everybody, but like, I'm willing to bet for the majority, like, that's the case.
What I think a lot of it does come from the idea, and I think you're starting to see it with some, I'll call it like New Age Christianity, where some of the old religious traditions are starting to evolve. I think when these traditions were sort of in their prime or in their beginnings, like way back, then like the vast majority of people were just completely uneducated. Like all they did was just hard work all day, every day, and I'm sure they needed more to grasp onto and to believe. I mean, you know, it's hard to preach moral tradition to someone who's like just trying to survive.
For sure. And to supplement that, like for people back then, religion was all they had. Yeah. There was no opposing view. It was that you were born into it, and that was it. And you died with it.
Cultures were built off of religion and like, you know, everything. Even like, you know, plays, like talk about Shakespeare. A lot of Shakespearean plays are based on religion in a sense.
Religion and also I'd say religion and also defiance thereof.
Yes.
Yeah. And not just plays, like we're talking about art as well. Like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, like both those people, like, you know, Splinter.
The entire Renaissance movement in itself was like it was an embracing and a divergence from traditional religion.
Exactly, Greg. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
What do you think, Nick?
Nick right now.
Honestly,
wait, hold on. You guys can't see this, but Nick is right now both Steve and Nick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call you Stick.
Stick. Give us the stick.
Yeah. Watch the scoop.
So, I don't know. Honestly, this has been one of the biggest mind fucks per se I've had for my life, for the most part. I never pursued to look into any type of religion for the most part. It just never brought any interest in me. And I guess it's really what's hindered me, because kind of like what you said back in like your adolescent times and whatnot, like, oh, you feel like you're atheist because this is stupid. Why would I do this type of thing? This doesn't make sense. And then the second that you start believing, like for me, just the one thing that was trying to help me and pull me in was gone, was taken away. And it kind of made me just kind of like, okay, you know, this can't be. Yeah. I'm kind of done with this, you know what I mean? So it's not that religion, for the most part, when I was younger, was a lot bigger, a lot more major and involved with my life. As I was starting to be able to make my own decisions and everything, I have definitely taken that other path to just go the opposite direction. Yeah. Not that I don't believe or anything like that. I'm not considered an atheist, anything like that. Just I'm not all that I guess entangled with.
Yeah. I think religion and organized religion are two very different things.
Yeah. I have a question for you guys. Have you ever in your life had to do something religious? I mean, it could be going to church, it could be doing X or Y and stuff, but did you ever have to do it to please family or a loved one or something like that? And I'd love to know what.
I went to Sunday school for many years because my mom taught Sunday school for many years.
All right.
Yeah, so my family was pretty religious when I was younger, and like I was like the whole, like I was in, you know, I'll say it's the, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like daycare for Christian children, essentially, when you're younger. You know, that's probably the best way I can describe it. Yeah. But yeah, that was sort of the thing. And I mean, I never had a choice going to church when I was younger. It was like you're going every Sunday.
Same here. Every Friday I had to go over and stuff. What about you, Nick? Oh, unless you had more to say, Steve.
No, you're good. Go ahead, Nick.
Mine was, my grandparents were very religious. Obviously, old school style religion. If you weren't at church, you were going to hell type thing. They were very drastic. So as kids, we were always dragged there, and I always hated it. Obviously, I'd see some friends and whatnot, and over times it got a little easier here and there. But for the most part, it was just a terrible experience. Didn't want to be there, fought with it. And then eventually we started kind of getting a little older, and then my mom started trying to like what you guys said, push it down your throat a little bit, kind of push you to it. And then it's like, I'm reliving all of this. I don't want to disappoint anybody because I don't want them to feel like I'm not a part of the family because I'm not doing this. But for the most part, fuck this type thing.
Right.
And then the biggest thing, I guess, was my uncle, pretty much my favorite uncle at the time. He became a pastor at our church, and that's what kind of pulled me in. Like, okay, I can talk to him. I know he's very sensible about kind of bringing things down to earth for me and everything, kind of breaking it down a little more. I can do this. Maybe I can start doing this. And then, he was killed in a car accident on his way to church by somebody who, to this day, after like 12 years, still is trying to press the Quran down everyone's throat at that same church that he used to teach.
Interesting. Like,
it's weird.
Your
it's
uncle
so weird.
was trying to push the Quran to...
No. The lady in the family that were in the vehicle that killed him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shit just got real.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay.
So that's kind of made me think a little more negative towards religion in some aspects. Nothing to be specific or anything like that. It's just when he was taken away, I just kind of stepped. I wasn't about it.
I think religion's one of those weird things where, like, I would say no religion is inherently like evil or violent or anything, because I mean, religion's all about preaching. At its core, religion is supposed to be about preaching values and preaching moral high ground and all that good stuff. But it's been around for so long. It's an industry in itself.
Yeah.
And in any industry, there are definitely those power figures and a lot of people that try to, they get power and then they try to abuse that power.
Yeah.
Try to keep that power. And that's where you start seeing like these organized religion essentially, which I'm personally not a fan of at all.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Let me talk.
Back. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, sorry about that. Hopefully it stays good. We'll see.
It's been fine. All right.
But yeah, no, you're right. It is definitely an institution, and it has been for hundreds of years and stuff. It's intense.
Yeah, and it's like I don't believe that, like, whenever there's been so much in the news and so much crap about like people using religion as a claim for violence and stuff like that, and I think it's a super weak excuse for violence
or for votes.
Yes.
Yeah. Any kind of like you don't use religion for promotion. You don't use religion for violence. You don't use religion for conquest or for like you're gonna go to hell because you don't believe the same thing that I believe.
Yeah, you can't use it. Yeah, to push your own agenda. Like that's it's not very Christian.
All those ideas are completely counter to religion. So at that point, they're not using religion to try to achieve those goals. They're using the institution that's built off of religion.
I agree.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I remember I was looking up just randomly because Rachel's dad's a pastor, and so we were looking up like the average pastor pay. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be pretty reasonable because you have to make enough living, but you have to be whatever. And they have they need like a doctor.
40,000.
Yeah, something like that. It was like 90,000 a year.
Get the fuck out of here! Are you fucking serious?
I know a lot of it is skewed because of the mega churches, which are the ones that have like they go on TV and those guys make
televangelists.
Yeah, they make so much money.
But they're TV personalities, right? So that's different. But like,
it's sort of different. It's definitely 100% based in religion though, which is the creepy part.
Gotta buy my P5 jet for the Lord.
That's just pretty insane though. It's like 90,000 a year.
That is fucking crazy.
What? So I mean, and I know that it's always creepy to me when at church is like we're talking about their youth programs and stuff, and it's like the reason they go for youth is because it's easier to manipulate and get their claws in there, and then you're going to be a Christian for your life, and you're going to donate for the rest of your life.
It's like the army as well. It's the same thing. You
sure.
get them when they're young.
Way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of creepy.
Fuck.
So yeah, when I got older, it was just really hard to go back or try to rekindle that. I mean, I think I still am for some degree. Like I'm definitely not like I know the answers. It's a lot of like could be this, could be that. But it just feels kind of like you're saying when you're in a church and with those people, I'd rather just do some meditation on my own and reflect about what it could be. It's nice to do that with other people, like a smaller group of people, and be like, how do you think it is? What are your thoughts on this kind of thing? Like I know Rachel did a thing called small group, which is kind of I actually like that idea. It was just like a small group of like they were all Christians. They went to a similar school, but they actually like talked about more personal stuff, and it's kind of like almost like counseling basically for each other, which is interesting.
Yeah.
It's like no judgments, like that stuff. I'm all down on board with.
Oh, I love that. I love like group discussions. Are like when you're on the same like level of you're giving each other mutual respect to the point where you can have a coherent conversation without anyone, jumping up and saying like, no, you're fucking wrong. Like like, this whole thing is a scam. Like,
you don't want the super opposite of people in there.
Yeah.
So no one's gonna like listen to anyone. You want someone in the middle who can like, all right, guys, I understand this, but you gotta have some give here.
So while you were gone, Steve said something really interesting about how he doesn't, or I also agree with him. I believe Nick as well. It was like I don't like the fact that the reason I do something good is because of my religion.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And case in point, in my old high school, I went to private school in Dubai. Being Dubai, you could not have, at that particular school, you could not have catechism or like studies. Like it couldn't be taught. But you were allowed to have Islamic studies and stuff, right?
Sure.
And so for the Muslim kids, they on that same period they would go to Islamic studies, and the rest of them would go to something they called moral studies.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it kind of at the time blew my mind because it blows my mind right now because of exactly what Steve had said earlier. It's like, and I looked at their textbooks and stuff. It was really like you see an old lady trying to cross the road. What do you do? Like, it's that kind of face. It's
really
it's that level of ridiculousness. Like,
I don't think we have that in the States like at all.
No,
as far as I'm aware.
It's
yeah,
probably just a EU / like Middle Eastern kind of thing.
We have study hall.
That's interesting because like for me and just personally, when I took religious classes, they were about not like ethics or like philosophy. It was mostly just like what is the story of our religion?
Yeah,
and not like the history, but more like this literally like what did Jesus do here? What did Jesus do here?
I took a really interesting course in college. It was called God, Meaning, and Morality. And our textbook was like what Greg was saying about like the history of languages. You learned about the history of like Hinduism, Islam, Buddhism, all those different religions. But then like the discussions we'd have in class were like what is a self? What is a consciousness? Like what does it mean to believe in a higher power?
I would delve into philosophy, right?
Yeah, very philosophical discussions, which were really interesting to have.
It's tied together. It makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean it's unavoidable. It's some people are going to take it as you can take it as a tool and make it whatever you want. People used it for war for years. People have used it for power for years, and now we're slowly taking into like, oh, it's actually about what you believe, less like what your country believes, what the power believes, and then you have to follow it regardless.
Right. Yeah,
so,
I think that
if you look at the history, it's like it makes sense why we're here and how we're here, and so it doesn't make me upset. It's just like, oh, okay. Kind of like Santa. It's like, you should have just told me a little sooner. I think I'd be okay.
Yeah, I know. Human's gonna human.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to touch on what Nick said earlier because I would love to hear these. You said you had some stories about your upbringing, maybe with
just some typical Christian stories.
You said you had some stories.
Typical Christian stories.
No, we got them.
God, I don't know. Besides the one I
don't
told.
Take his name in vain.
Oh yeah, you came bad at the worst time, Greg. Nick already told us his story.
Well, just to kind of like touch up. Growing up, it was kind of like pushed down, kind of like Bella said, it was pushed down my throat type thing, and I naturally just butt heads with it. And then as I started trying to accept it, when I started to accept it, my uncle was a pastor at the time, and he was killed, and the lady that ended up hitting him in the car accident, causing the car accident, started shoving the Quran down that same church, she for 6 months, even right after his death, the day of his funeral, everything, she was outside with that
Jeez.
fucking Quran
Interesting.
and just trying to press the people to turn.
Did that
It was
work
just-
at all? I feel like that's
I
a
don't know.
bad strategy.
But it was
That's
just
a weird
it was
move. God,
Yeah.
it
it
was a small town. It's such a small town
Yeah, piss everyone off. Yeah.
thing, and everybody was ticked off.
Yeah.
But she
yeah.
just kept coming.
Interesting.
I mean, and it's so sad because like stories like that play out all across the world with different religions and different people. Like it's not the religion at fault. It's the person for believing that their mission is to harm others that don't believe the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's like I think that kind of ties into the idea that of the idea of acceptance essentially, and I think there's like two layers to that. One is accepting people that don't believe the same thing that you do, and then the other is a lot of very strict religions are like, if you mess up, you're done, right?
Yeah.
And to mess up is to be human, right? To make a mistake is to be human.
Error is to be human.
Exactly, and a lot of times you see these young kids or these adolescents that are from super religious families, and something will happen in their lives. They'll make a decision that they're a growing person. They're going to make decisions, right? And then all of a sudden they're either ostracized or it just ruins them mentally because they to them the thing that they have been sort of told to believe in that they hold on so dearly to is all or nothing, and then all of a sudden they're left with nothing, and it's like, okay, well, I'm 16 and I'm already going to hell. What the fuck do I do now?
All or nothing's a good way to put it. There's a little gray there, which is a shame because it's the most gray thing there couldn't be. It's like people say it's you either believe or you don't. I mean, that's true, but the fact that it's you could still kind of believe a lot of different things. You can still kind of feel. It's all still feelings. There's no people turn into a light bulb on and off. It's just come on.
Yeah. Well, that's
How is this different than most other things? Everything's gray. There's gray everywhere.
So,
I think that's kind of the idea of sort of why I'm agnostic. Essentially, is it's I don't see I don't have to believe in the idea of a Jesus or a God or.
But it doesn't mean it's wrong.
Higher power. It doesn't mean it's wrong. No, it doesn't mean it's not true. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't claim to know.
Yeah, I don't claim to know. Whether
Neither should you.
whether there is an afterlife, whether there's not, whether there's that's I'm just gonna do what I can while I'm here.
Right.
Yeah, I remember. I was gonna say real quick. Nick's story kind of reminded me of back in college, when I was learning all this stuff. I don't know about you guys, but a couple of our campuses had a bunch of I don't want to say they're crazy people, but they're really extreme Christian or non-Christian people would come and just go to the commons or whatever, some open area, and just start preaching or screaming or whatever. It's doing their own little thing. Mm-hmm. And so, to me, that was the ultimate okay. I can either engage this guy with my new college brain and try to take him on and prove him wrong, or just ignore him. And so that for me was a huge step in terms of oh yeah, I'm gonna take on everyone. I'm gonna write up everything. Yeah, just just let him do that. He probably can't be changed. That's probably why he's doing this extreme thing in the first place.
Yeah,
and it's just it's I think a lot of people don't grasp that. I think a lot of people are yeah, I'm out there to it's my job to try to either convert or not convert or disprove or prove, if we come from both sides. Go after people.
That's how I am with not just religion or those kind of topics, but also politics in general.
Oh,
we're in a very tumultuous time right now. And I'm afraid to talk about it to people.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be an argument, So I just disengage and I just leave it as is. Because like you said, I can either try and change their minds, but why? What do I gain from that?
Yeah.
You know, what do I personally gain from that? Do I feel good that I turn someone into towards my view?
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea. Yeah.
Because the thing is and I thought about myself, someone tried to change my purview on things and stuff, I'd be very resistant, very hesitant and stuff. But I built myself as a person. No book, no nothing has told me what to do. I just eventually came up on my own and I learned the mistakes I made in the past, etc., and stuff. And I'm happy that I did that because I don't owe it to anyone.
Yeah,
and I owe it to my own growth.
I consider myself to be open. It's you could convince me. It's
yeah.
possible.
No, exactly.
By all means, try.
Yeah. No, same here. I'm completely open unless, when it comes to religion, I'm actually completely open. When it comes to someone talking about the good things about being a Republican or whatever and stuff, like I'll be open to it.
Yeah.
It's not a line in the sand. Like there's a lot of gray there. Like
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important, like when engaging people or when being engaged, that like both parties are willing to sort of be engaged in that. Because like some people just some people just want to preach at you in a sense, where it's like it's more like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
You have to judge people and be like, oh, this guy is he's not really listening to me. He's just talking, and that's fine. But he's gotta let it happen.
So when I was a kid, he's an asshole. When I was a kid, with my mom constantly like shoving this down my throat, like it didn't do anything to make me love the religion more.
Yeah.
In fact, the complete opposite. So eventually I left. Like I was like, no. I had this very difficult conversation with my mom. Like, you have to stop. Yep. No, I'm not waking up on a Friday anymore. No, you can go if you want to. But
I was gonna ask you how are they? I'm assuming they're not accepting, but like, what's the how do they deal with people that just stop doing it, or like how do they enforce it, or like do they like care? I mean, like what is how that works?
In my case, they couldn't do anything about it.
Well, yeah, I mean they can't
also,
physically do anything.
Keep in mind, my case is a little more unique because it was just my mom. My dad didn't give a shit.
Right.
Like, he's not Muslim, like whatever. So
I just know that in Catholic, at least Catholicism and in like Christianity, there's like the like you're saying, the only holiday Christians that only go for like Easter and Easter and like Christmas. So I'm assuming if you did that in Islam, they might be pissed, or like if they knew that you were doing that. I don't know if they would like you have to be like as traditional as possible.
No,
I think it depends on the community.
It definitely depends. And like my community like isn't super religious. Like it was easy for my mom to tell me to go to the mosque because women don't go to the mosque. The men do. There are women mosques, obviously, and some mosques have it divided. Like the ones
I didn't know that.
Here, like the ones over here have like a sign, like the main entrance, like the guys going, and there's like another one like sisters entrance.
See, that's so crazy.
Sisters.
Isn't that crazy? Like in this day and age.
That's the thing. Like they're not dissimilar.
It's a religious tradition.
Yeah, and like you may think like our listeners may think like I kept saying my mom is a Muslim. She doesn't wear the scarf. She doesn't do anything like that. Nothing at all. She just observes holidays.
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah.
That's kind of like how my mom was too. She was like, it was like a front. She's like, oh, I'm gonna be really serious when they're a kid, and and like make them think that I'm really serious. And then as years go by, you're like, Mom, what are you doing? You don't do any of these things. Come on. So it's like, why were we being such a hard ass for those years? Because I think it's just like for the longest time it was like religion is morals. It was just that's how it was ingrained in our like society.
Yeah. I think most parents also do that. They force their kids to do it because of social hierarchy as well.
And like, it did to them.
Yeah, like your friends' kids are constantly like reading the Bible or going to church or like just helping old ladies across the street. You want your kids to be the same. Yeah, because what else do you talk about in church, right? Like
I've always hated that though. That's like the classic, like people compare houses and people like my kid's better than your kid and all that crap. I want to try to avoid that as much as possible.
I know, like I literally don't care what other people think about me. Like I'm such an outcast already in my own community and where I come from and stuff. But like the choices I made in life and everything, being such a weirdo that
we probably know.
I stopped caring. Yeah, I just stopped caring. I even told my mom because I was brought up that way. With my mom saying, "Oh, like your buddy's got like these grades. Like, what happened to yours? Like, oh, that buddy can go fuck himself. Like, I don't care. Like, fuck him. Like, I have the grades that are just gonna let me pass, and I've gone through entirety of school, A levels, O levels, no problem. Like, I have what my work has shown me. It's like I'm fine.
Oh yeah, and I will play devil's advocate. There are great advantages if you are up and coming, because if you know people in church, like, oh, he goes to my church, I want that in for that job and all that stuff, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
that helps a lot, honestly. And then like when you're really old and your family hates you or whatever, and you're on your own, like being part of that community is a huge deal because they can like send the kids to help out this old man or whatever. And that's great. I think that's awesome. But I recognize that at this point in my life, I'm like, I'm cool, I'm good, I don't need that. All good.
There's nothing wrong with seeking a sense of community. It's when that community starts targeting or turning against people that don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah, it could be a douchebag community all the time.
And it's hard to do like a broad brush over like a religion, whether they do or they're not, because again, there's so many sects and stuff.
We're just talking about our perspective,
yeah, because it's like
Like when I'm in high school, like I had some people I know in high school that were like super religious and whatnot. It was really hard to talk to them because I could tell that they were just completely fake people because they'd be like, "Hey, how you doing? You want to go to church with me later?" It's
Yeah, they're
like,
on a mission to bring you, kind of thing.
yeah. It's like if I'm gonna talk to you and like be your friend, I don't want every third word out of your mouth being you trying to convert me.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of thing, and it just got so hard that I just basically was like stop, like I'm done.
I know.
It's like anything. If you have one friend that just lets this one thing define them as a person, like he's the guy you just talk about football, and then if you argue with him on football, he's gonna come out, he's gonna break your head off. It's like, fuck that guy.
I know. Like,
fuck that guy.
And like they're doing it in good faith, But
no, I believe they think they're doing it. They think they're doing the right thing.
Right.
It's such a closed-minded thing where.
Yeah. And like it's okay to ask, but it's not okay to press.
But like looking at like if someone like that, and I've had this happen in the past. Like in fact, it almost worked. I almost became like I guess Christian because this one person like kept looking at me. It was like in a very pitying kind of way. It's like as if I needed to be saved.
Oh, I hate that. I know exactly.
As if they were doing me a solid. Like,
I hate that.
No,
especially when it comes to baptism. Like some people hold that so close to their heart. Like I personally was not baptized, but my entire family was. But they look at me as if I'm
Satan,
like some beast or something. Sometimes you go to church. Oh, when were you saved?
Why didn't your parents?
He's the late demon.
I want to know that too. Why didn't your parents baptize you?
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, because it's like it's not your fault. It's like it's all on your. It's really your parents.
No. I'm not sure.
And you could get baptized any time technically, but it's like fuck that.
But
hey, we can do it right now. It'd be a great feature.
Yo,
we
get
can
some
use
beer.
We can use beer.
No. Fuck that. Everybody. No, boys. Everyone leave right now. Get as many cans of baked beans as you can.
Stop.
We'll baptize this motherfucker right here.
I'll mute you.
I don't have any beans in this house.
I'm pretty sure since I'm a Catholic, all I have to do is touch a couple young boys, and then I can do these ceremonies with the blessing of the church.
What?
All I have to do. I'm in.
I think it was David Cross who had he had a comedy special. I think it was called "Make America Great Again," and he was like, I love his style of comedy because it's very shock value and stuff. But he said, you should just get all the world leaders, put them in a room, and don't let them out until they come to a consensus. And when they finally, and then like he just goes into that, and then they'll be like, child rape. The one thing that defined everybody. If you haven't seen his special, it's absolutely great. It's just fun him making a joke and some of the audience just leaves.
That's great. I love comedy like that. I mean, that's why I still love Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's still doing it. It's awesome.
But he does it in a way where it doesn't even seem edgy. Like it's like
he's surprisingly restrained, and still people get mad at him. Mm-hmm. It's like he's being really nice, like for real.
I know.
He walks the line really well.
Yeah, he really he does the whole like, hey guys, I'm not saying this, and I love these people, but like, he didn't even have to do that. You're Dave Chappelle. You can do what the fuck you want. But yeah, it's what are you gonna do?
Oh man.
Yeah.
But actually, I wanted to actually tell you the story of how I almost got indoctrinated.
Yeah, go.
There was this girl, and
you can end it there. That's where it is.
Taking at you with water guns trying to baptize you.
No. So
hot girl. Boom.
No, I worked this one promotion job, and there's like my good buddy Peter. Hey Peter, how's it going? He may be a guest at some point. And his mom had just passed away, like literally just passed away.
Jeez.
And the three of us were working the same job and stuff. So like we just became, and he just needed people like random and stuff. So we were there for him. Eventually, we went to his mom's wake and everything like that. And this person, I won't say her name.
Carol.
No,
Karen. We'll call her Karen.
Karen.
We'll call her. We'll call her Carol. No, she was a nice person, everything like that, but very, very, very not your typical Christian. Like just like a really heavy Christian.
Devoted.
Yeah, and like I shared like, I'm really into music and stuff. I shared like stuff like that. So we would constantly drive up from where we were in Dubai to Abu Dhabi, where Peter was, and she played this one CD that I really liked. I loved it. Like I couldn't stop thinking about it. I'll tell you what it was. It was from a church called Hillsong in Australia, and they did this one concert. They're still doing concerts and stuff, and like to me, it was like the most beautiful music I've ever heard. Like I still listen to that album every now and then. It's great. I actually love it. But like being as young as I was, I kind of, hey, maybe this is
Music is a
thing.
powerful tool.
I could be a rock star too if I believe in the
what
art.
Greg said is exactly what I'm getting at. Like Hillsong, and like some of them was like my favorite songs from that. In fact, infamously, there's one track, and there's videos of it too, where this guy named Michael Guglielmucci gets up on stage, and I forgot the name of the song, but you'll find it. And he's got like he's suffering from cancer, so he has this he has a tubes going to like a machine and everything, and he's on stage and like he's playing and stuff, and it's this really emotional thing. Like it's
Jesus.
really like it was beautiful, and just watching this stuff and like and then I think a month later found out that he was faking it.
Oh my god.
Because this guy just refused to die. He was concert after concert after concert after concert after concert.
That's funny.
It came up and stuff and like that. Like, but the thing is, like, music is a powerful tool. It almost made me convert. Like, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the biggest tools that Catholicism used. They had the Gregorian chants, and those things are still awesome. I love that style of
those.
music.
That shit's
So cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
And
but,
especially when people had no education, it's like that is how you got them. I mean,
when you're lost and confused, and when you're just like, this is how it happens. Like, and when you're lost, you're confused, you need help and stuff. Religion is sometimes what people go to.
the religion and the music like represents that. It's like a bunch of people.
Yes.
Usually it's a choir,
Yes.
so it's a group of people right there.
And we love
They're all-
music. We love
it's
music so much.
overpowering. Yeah.
It's a
And
very
I'm not gonna lie to you. Even today, I still listen to that album every now and then. Like it's great music.
That's where the new age stuff comes from. They started implementing like drums and stuff and like actual band to like try to like,
it
get
was
into like
a
the
full
youth.
band. Like it was a
Yeah.
rock concert.
Sure.
I love watching somebody passionate about something that I'm not necessarily passionate about.
Sure.
I love the heartfeltness of it all. Like it was so wholesome. Like they're singing about Christ and all this stuff. Like and I stand it hard. I love it. I don't have to believe in the same thing. I just love that level of passion.
I love when actually people do stuff for the good. It's like,
Exactly.
oh, we go out there, we try to help people, and then we spread the word of God. At least you're helping people, though. It's like,
Exactly.
you got that. That's good. That's fine.
Yeah, I've said it in the past in previous episodes. Religion actually helps people, and I stand by that. You know. But yeah, that's my story.
At least recently, it did.
What?
Hundreds of years there were wars and stuff, and that wasn't great.
Oh
but
yeah, I know.
recently,
But-
they're turning it around.
No, of course. I mean, Islam is the same thing. Like, it's a lot of killing and pillaging and shit in the background. Like,
Well, it's definitely taking different forms because you still have the negative things for like the televangelists that are you don't need to use your money to fight your cancer. You can give it to the Lord.
oh no.
Which
But
is
the thing
me,
is,
yeah.
like, we're old enough now, or a little more like clever enough now to like kind of see someone trying to indoctrinate you from far away. It could like whenever someone like comes at me, like I can see it in their eyes. Like they could either be trying to convert me, or be really excited about this pyramid scheme that they don't know is a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
It's either that or that. You know, it doesn't
definitely
always have to
seems
be
to be-
religion. Yeah,
Dying out a bit, just because, like, I mean, I
multi-level
know
marketing. Yeah,
it's all like elderly people, and like they really keeping it alive. So I don't know where it's going to be in like 20, 30 years. We'll see. I mean, I think it's still going to be around. It's not going to be not as prevalent.
I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's going to kind of
It's evolving.
change into. Yeah, it's going to evolve into like a hybrid of.
Or subtle. Yeah.
Yeah, where like it's gonna be like how it's gonna be like a national holiday instead of like a religious holiday, kind of like what's happening at Christmas already. You know,
Yeah.
you can
Which
take
was
it
a
as far
pagan
as you
holiday
want.
before.
Yeah, you
I
can
mean,
take it as
not-
far as you want,
Yeah.
but there's also space in the secular world where you can still enjoy it, kind of like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
I mean, I don't want to sound too ominous, but like, religion being an industry, like industries don't like to die out. So it's going to evolve into something. And I guess, it's really it'll be interesting to see exactly like what it turns out being.
Yeah, because I don't know where it would go.
The part, yeah.
They've tried modernizing, and I think they're still they're leeching off of the old until they're dead. So I mean, I don't know how long it's going to go.
As long as they separate church and state, I'm fine. But
Yeah.
like wherever
Yeah.
it goes, yeah, that's very
Again,
important.
looking at the history of everything, it's like it makes total sense why it was entwined at the time.
Yeah.
'Cause it like defined us
no.
as a nation and everything.
Of course. Yeah, conquest
Yeah.
is built off of religion.
Just slowly gotta undo that stuff.
It's like
brick
a
by
band-aid.
brick.
Rip it right off. Seinfeld.
I don't know if that's not quite the same.
No, I know. Just joking. I just wanted to
Purge
pop
them
a
all.
Seinfeld.
I think definitely progress is like it's a wave, right? You don't make steady progress. You have to.
It's like this
There's always
pandemic.
setbacks. Yeah. Although I will say that with this pandemic, it's really interesting to see all the switch to virtual.
I love it.
Yeah.
I
A
love
lot of old age is now becoming more new age.
Yeah.
All
Well,
the
like you
virtual-
said, a lot of it is like having the globalization of being able to see everything everywhere all times. Like I know Joe Rogan had the girl from the Baptist church, the crazy Baptist, the ones that protested those soldiers.
Westboro
Yeah,
Baptist
Westboro, yeah.
Church,
And so the reason she got out is from Twitter. It's just from talking from people through the internet and through all that stuff. So it's like that's a clear example of where it's going. More and more people interacting, not even meaning to. It's they come after each
yeah.
other or whatever.
and it's really. Oh, so go ahead.
No, I was gonna say something stupid like just give the Amish people one iPhone and like that'll just dissolve the entire thing.
There you go.
It's not true. It's not true. Obviously, I was just being an idiot.
But so it's interesting though, because even just thinking about like the coronavirus and how like a lot of congregations or a lot of churches are starting to go web based, like they're doing more web congregations, and like that
especially
in itself,
now,
like that in itself inadvertently combats televangelism.
I think it's amazing that that's the thing, and it really warms my heart that it's working for them. Like that they took that step to kind of use modern technology. I mean, not that. Look, I'm not saying that religious people are so stuck in the past. No, like everyone uses modern technology. Everyone has phones and stuff for the most part.
It's funny. There's actually a lot. If you look up YouTube, there's a lot of fails of pastors doing stuff online and it messing
real?
up. Oh yeah, big time. Rachel told me about it.
Oh,
hilarious.
shit. No, I like that. But like using modern technology is not going to apply.
Is
to
it working? Is it on? I don't know.
I know. Like for example, like this isn't really modern technology, but I love the fact that there was that priest that was doing blessings with holy water out of a squirt gun.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear about that?
I saw some
fantastic.
images.
I love that. Like it's like
Which is weird because you can just, I know they use a wreath or like some kind of like vine thing in my church. It's like that's the same mechanism. You're still flinging liquid. It's like, why do you need to go?
I know.
Just use like the extendable like.
It seems like maybe it was like a PR move, but still a good move.
It's like
still funny.
repurpose a selfie stick and just.
But see, like if you did that 100 years ago, they would have burned you at stake or whatever.
Oh
like, not 100 years, but like 200 years for sure.
Yeah.
Like, and that's crazy. That's insane.
It's,
When you think about it, it's like how much we've come so far. It's like it's the same with like calories and getting fat and stuff. It's like for thousands of years humans have done this thing, and then we suddenly in the past 200 years we've become so far. We've come so far. It's like we don't need the calories. We don't need the. When people were dying when they were until the average lifespan was like 30. So it's like you really were believing there was an afterlife. It was the most important thing because you were more likely to go there than live.
It's like we've shifted from fat being bad to now carbs being bad. Ultimately, like they get, I don't know. I don't know the science about it.
With that analogy, it's the same thing. They've swapped in what the value was in because now it's like values in life, and religion doesn't really affect life too much. It affects the afterlife. So it's like now I actually care about living because that's. Oh wait, we've done a lot of science, and that's actually all we know, even with all our knowledge so far. Maybe we should invest in that. So it's just we're getting there.
Yeah, I love the topic of religion being practiced today in a modern age. And I'll give you an example. Oh, go ahead now. Before.
Well, I think it's really interesting how, sort of piggybacking off the previous conversation, where a lot of these very traditional congregations or very traditional religions, all of a sudden, when faced with like and these are institutions that for their own wanting to keep their own traditions in place, sort of resist change or resist modernization in a sense.
I want to know how they adapt though. Like that's really interesting.
Yeah, well, that's the hilarious thing is that once they're forced to out of necessity, they do it really well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're humans. Humans adapt well. That's what we do.
Yeah. So
it was like you see those funny signs because like religion got those little signs in front of the church, so people started putting like funny messages and stuff, and people loved it. It got viral. And now I guarantee there are churches with Twitters that are constantly tweeting out blessings and stuff, and people love that. They're like, oh, it reassures me, whatever, blah blah blah. So it's like, yeah, of course they're gonna keep going.
It's an evolutionary leap, essentially.
Speaking to that though, I love that churches have now like caught up with youth and memes and stuff, where you'll see some messages outside those church boards like being a little more relevant to today's youth and stuff. In fact, I would not be surprised if like there's something to do with Fortnite on there at some point. Where they
gotta dab for the Lord.
Yeah, dab for the Lord.
Dab for the Lord.
Sure exists.
But
oh my god!
But coming back to how religions have adapted to modern life and stuff, modern times. So I have a unique perspective because of like growing up a Muslim. So traditionally, you'd have like the call to prayer, right? 5 times a day. Muslims pray 5 times a day. I never did. Like that's way too many things to do and stuff. But so they would have a dude up in one of the minarets, like calling, like yelling, like calling, like yo, it's prayer time, you know.
Sure.
But in a little more beautiful way.
Yeah.
But now they replace that with speakers and stuff. Also, here's the thing. In the month of Ramadan, it's basically where Muslims fast from sunup to sundown, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
How do you factor that with countries that have longer daytimes?
You just fast longer.
You just have
I had a friend that did that, and he told me he would basically wake up super early in the morning, eat a shitload of food.
Yeah, no, that's normal.
There's
There's even a word for it. It's called suhoor. It was when you eat before and then you fall asleep and stuff. But like growing up in Dubai, it was literally 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. roughly. That was it. 12 hours. Yeah. In Canada, it could be like 5 till like 9 p.m. Like
It's a little rough.
that is a long time. It's not. The thing is, it's not just food. It's also water. It's also like if you smoke cigarettes, like you can't do that either. You can't have sex. You can't do anything.
I would die.
You can't do anything. The closest the closest approximation to Ramadan that I would think would be Lent.
Oh yeah.
For Christians.
It's like purifying the body, quote unquote.
But at least with Lent, you get to pick one thing.
Oh yeah, we've eased up a bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm more fascinated with Islam, just because I don't know enough. And they have this interesting where they have to balance modernization with. Well, I guess they don't have to. They just do traditional regardless.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they're trying to do it as much as they can with being. It's like without being executed or whatever they do. I don't know.
Here's another thing. Here's another scenario. What if sun up to sundown, right? What if you're on a flight?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. And you land at sun up on that day, like.
No, I mean,
crazy.
a lot of it doesn't make sense if you think about it.
Well, I mean, I think this all boils down to it's like whenever you try to parse these kind of things, it's almost like you're splitting hairs, right? It's like there's gonna be exceptions, there's gonna be weird cases where it's like, okay, I didn't, I was crossing over time zones, but it's okay. Like it's all about. I feel like it's about the intent.
Sure.
No, for sure. No, you're absolutely
Is there
right. I was being a little facetious, I'll admit.
I know.
But obviously there's some sense.
It's a good example of how they're not gonna. I'm assuming they don't change. Do they not change much as much as they can, or is there like a central party that like controls like the rules of it, or they just follow the scripture regardless?
Like I said, there are different sects and stuff. Like you have Sunni Shias, you have the Boris as well. There's a lot of different sects to Islam. There's
just
probably
like
hundreds. Yeah,
just like
everything. I'm sure they change in some ways. It's I'm sure there's obviously they're gonna use like social media platforms for
maybe they don't. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted Vela to tell me, because I didn't know they separated by sex and they separated by it was on Friday. Like I didn't know any of this stuff.
No. So I personally haven't sought out to find out like how Islamic social media works. I'm sure it probably is robust.
Sure, something. Yeah.
I just haven't had the interest to kind of delve into it.
No, yeah. I have no knowledge, so having your perspective alone has given me. I mean, I need to do research. And
thank you. No, you're welcome. Like, this is just basically how I grew up and like what I was aware of when I was practicing at that time.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that is one of the challenges that like I guess us 2 or 3 as typical white like Catholics, Christians.
Oh,
I'm not white. How dare you?
One more thing. But the only thing that Islam did for me that I value is I learned how to, and keep in mind, I don't understand Arabic, but I can read Arabic.
Wow.
I
What?
can read Arabic. I can write all your names in Arabic, like, and stuff.
Nice.
But I don't understand the actual language. It's kind of like learning.
So it's a phonetic alphabet.
Yeah, exactly. So I know what
like
A.
Korean.
Yeah, like Aleph, Batha, and stuff. There's A, B, C.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, phonetic alphabets are cool because they're really easy to learn.
And it's fun because like every time I go to like a Middle Eastern kind of neighborhood, even here, I can read everything. Like I know that's a pharmacy or like whatever.
Damn
Like,
useful.
yeah.
Nice.
So, but it's Arabic language written in Arabic script, right? So you'd have to read. You could read it, but then
I
you'd
know-
have to know what.
I know
the
some
Arabic-
words. Also, another thing is that certain words that like pharmacy, for example, I don't believe there's a word in Arabic for it.
So they use English.
So they just
version.
like they type like they look phonetically like in Arabic, but it literally says pharmacy. Like so that's how I know. Yeah,
Gotcha. Pharmacy
But-
written in Arabic. Yeah.
exactly. And also
Wow.
like I know like a word here or there, like like
Yeah, I was like me in Latin.
Yeah.
I took Latin, and I partially because of how I was raised, and
Biggest.
occasionally when they sing stuff, I can translate. That's about it.
yeah.
Pretty worthless. But yeah, I think we covered a lot there, boys. We solved that crisis, and I think we're right, 100%. And yeah, anyone have any closing statements? I am Desperado GPJ. You can find me on Steam, and yeah, anyone else?
Yeah. So Steve, Blackened X27 on Twitch. Leave a thumbs up or a comment if you felt like you were enjoyed the video, or if you were
Smash that
offended.
like button. Just smash
Either
it.
way,
Smash it.
Wait,
smash it.
before Nick goes, Nick, I want to hear the most weirdest religious thing that's ever happened to you.
He saw the devil with his own eyes.
Block those out.
Yeah.
Like, in what way?
Anyway,
Anyway?
the funniest thing you saw at a church.
You said your mom pushed you down your throat. Like how aggressive we talking? She's like screaming at you guys to go to church and
Yeah.
stuff. Or?
Like, if we weren't up to get dressed
Oh,
for church, we were getting smacked. And then we were sent to church, and then we'd come home grounded
Oh my
because
god.
we didn't go to church.
Did you ever talk during church, or you like get in trouble in church, and then she like got you later, kind of thing?
My grandma
Yeah.
was more so the officer then.
Like
Yeah.
My
Oh.
grandma, okay, so my grandma, she's older now, but back then she had these long, skinny fingers.
Oh my
But
god.
her knuckles would like kind of bulge out. And one of her favorite things to do, Grandpa would fall asleep like this, typical dad thing, and then Grandma would be beside him singing hymns and everything like that. And my brother and I would mess around, and she'd go, "Okay, give me your hand. We'll go, we'll go to the bathroom or something." And she'll take our hands, and she'll just do that. All she's doing is gripping her fingers
oh,
like that.
that's painful.
And she does that with her knuckles, and she goes, "If you don't straighten up," and we just stopped. She didn't have to finish nothing,
That's funny.
She gave her the old pinch in the pews.
kinda.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not a religious thing, but it happened right after church.
It's like a discipline
If that
thing.
makes sense.
Yeah, behavioral.
Well, I'm talking a completely different thing now. If you guys know, there's a scar on my head
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah, that's why we call you Scarface.
Yeah, scarf. Yeah, typical. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, well, we'll start that.
It is from a 2-foot screwdriver because right after church, my brother and I were playing with old school lawn darts. And after church with Grandma and Grandpa, we would always go out to eat or something. And they were inside getting changed. We were still outside. We were just playing. We couldn't find one of them. We used one of Grandpa's screwdrivers. And my brother tossed it. And he kind of tossed it low instead of up. And we were young. And it drilled me right in the skull. And I blacked out. It was lodged in my skull. And went to the hospital. Came back. My grandma was complaining because there was blood all over her church dress.
Where was this story?
You asshole.
How dare you?
I don't remember a lot. I remember like as soon as it hit, I was out. And then I threw up at one point in the car.
On a
And
dress.
then
On the
I
church
remember-
dress again?
No. It was on the floorboards.
Darn.
But I remember my grandma kind of like screaming and like panicky type thing when she came running out after my brother told her what happened.
Mhm.
And then the whole like she started praying immediately, oh Lord Jesus, don't take him now type thing. Like,
Oh my
fuck.
god.
What a good story.
I thought you were gonna say she gripped your fingers and was like, "Boy, you better straighten up.
You better wake up.
Hey,
You better take that
No.
screwdriver out yourself."
No,
Yeah,
nothing
sure.
like that.
Yeah, Nick went to a
Just-
black church.
God, no.
I would love that, dude. That'd be awesome. I love.
Ray would
Oh,
go
yeah.
black church when he was younger.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No, because I wanted to know, because I think last time Rachel was on, she said that like that level of discipline was like, oh, if you're not going to finish your food,
You're gonna have
Remember?
it tomorrow.
yeah,
Yeah.
tomorrow, and then it'll just be the same thing kind of thing. So I was kind of
Yeah.
wondering if that kind of like parental discipline extended over to not going to church or like misbehaving in church or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh,
you'd
yeah,
be
oh,
really
yeah.
quiet, which sucked as a kid.
I think that's just I feel like that was more like parents that are part of like social groups have that because they don't want to be embarrassed by their
Yeah,
child
that-
acting out.
That's why you have the pinch in
see
the
that.
pews.
Yeah.
The pitch
yeah.
in the pews.
All right, well, we were signing off, boys.
Yeah, we were. All right.
Right, that's right.
Nick,
I'm
I'm
done.
Good
sorry.
question though.
Done.
Thank
That was
you.
good. That was a good part, though. Yeah, good statement.
Yeah.
Bella, you got closing
No,
words?
Nick hasn't closed up yet.
Okay.
Oh, Nick, at Nicholas _Delk on Twitter. I forgot my shit already.
AKA
Um,
Scarface.
And Lee Demon on Twitch and Steam.
All right, boys. I am Bella, aka Dion. Actually, Dion, aka Bella. I go by either. It's fine. Thank you so much for joining us. You can find me at Bella_Swift on Twitch. You can also find me on Instagram at NoHikingWay and on Twitter at I am Dion. We have been the Goon Squad, and you can find us right down below, Twitter, at official GNSD. Talk to us about anything, whether you liked an episode, whether you hated it. If you want to talk to us about a topic that you think we should do and stuff. In fact, like, I think I'm the next host, right?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah,
you were
reset.
Surprise, surprise, it's all going to be about beans.
No,
If you
beans.
ain't eating baked beans,
No.
you're doing something wrong. Yeah, shut up, Nick. I mean, shut
I'll
up,
talk about that for an
Scarface.
hour. Bring it
But-
on.
Yeah.
Challenge.
The Bean episode.
Yeah, the beanisode. Anyway,
Beanisode.
thank you so much for
Oh.
joining us. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you on Friday. Mwah.
Bye, everybody.
It's the Church of Scientology.
How did we not even discuss the Church of